all out, but no one's getting to Kings River Knight, a dominant front-running score in the Crystal Water. Colinga Road was second. Carmelita's man up for third in front of Bang for Your Buck. They're in the gate. And they're off. 'Tis a Good Thing, very quick. Mr. Disrespectful, flashing speed, and now up to take the lead. And Grand Tiger is hustled hard from the fence, so there's a nice battle on the front end. California Tiger is in fourth, 3 off the lead, then Gypsy Tears and El Rey Dorado. Heading toward the 3/8 pole, and it's Grand Tiger dueling with Mr. Disrespectful. California Tiger comes through along the inside of 'Tis a Good Thing. Gypsy Tears racing in fifth, about 3 lengths off the pace, starting to make up some ground. And El Rey Dorado at the back of the field. Mr. Disrespectful is the leader with a quarter to go. But here comes Gypsy Tears. And Gypsy Tears on the outside. In between them, 'Tis a Good Thing. Behind that, California Tiger. Grand Tiger drops back there in the final furlong. Mr. Disrespectful, California Tiger coming through on the inside. Gypsy Tears in the center, flattening out. And 'Tis a Good Thing. 4 of them coming for the wire together. Here's 'Tis a Good Thing, resurgent. Photo finish, too close to call. California Tiger and 'Tis a Good Thing hit it right together. Gypsy Tears, Mr. Disrespectful just behind them.
Why not change something, right? Whatever they've done for a while hasn't gotten him through this condition.
Exactly.
So maybe try something different. Also, the 5, Big Chisola for Tim Yakteen, the handicap.
We're in the gate. And they're off. Big Bet Jaffin Safa was off very slowly. Austonian, very quick out of there. Right turn has speed. Carol's Comic is up and on the pace. And the Big Chisola caught 4 wide into the first turn as Austonian sprints clear, heading to the 6 furlong pole. Ship and Scam is already about 8 lengths off the leader. Another length back to Whiskey Vision, who's 4 in front of Big Bet Jaffin Safa. Onto the backstretch, and it's Austonian at a quick clip, clear by 5 lengths. Carol's Comic takes second and cuts into the margin just a touch past the 5/8 pole. And then right turn at the rail is in third. The Big Chisola fourth. Gap of 4 back to Ship and Scam, a similar margin. Big Bet Jaffin Safa is out of last, leaving Whiskey Vision as the trailer. Less than a half mile to go, and it's Austonian carving out the fractions. Carol's Comic is racing in second. Ship and Scam moving through willingly at the rail, taking third. The Big Chisola is next. Here's Big Bet Jaffin Safa unwinding a nice run. And Big Bet Jaffin Safa picking horses off, gets into fourth with a quarter of a mile to go. It's Austonian and Carol's Comic at the top of the stretch. Ship and Scam has been beautifully handled with a perfect trip, pouncing on the top pair. And Big Bet Jaffin Safa continues to close stoutly in the center of the track, a furlong from the finish. And Big Bet Jaffin Safa has gone from last to first. Ship and Scam trying his best, but he'll settle for second. Big Bet Jaffin Safa, 3/4 of a length. Ship and Scam, a long way to Carol's Comic, Austonian, and Whiskey Vision. 26 minutes. We're in the gate. And they're off. Awkward start for Taming the Tigress, and not the quickest for Warren's Candy Girl. A sharp one for Eddie's New Dream, who takes over immediately. Big Switch second, and Rose Maddox third. Taming the Tigress now rushes up, very ranked, throwing her head around in third. She's going to face a very tall order today. Shocking Grace second to last, and at the back of the field, stretch running Warren's Candy Girl. It's Eddie's New Dream leading by a length and a half. Big Switch is in second. Rose Maddox a comfortable third, hugging the rail. Just in front of Taming the Tigress on the outside. Two back to Shocking Gray, and Warren's Candy Girl 5 lengths covers the field. Eddie's New Dream down the backstretch, a length and a half in front of the favorite Big Switch in second. At the rail, Rose Maddox 2 off the pace in third, Taming the Tigress still fourth. Then comes Shocking Gray and Warren's Candy Girl on the outside. Into the far turn, behind Eddie's New Dream, who has been the controlling speed, tracked throughout by Big Switch, who cuts into the margin now. It's down to a half a length. Rose Maddox, 2.5 off the leader in third. Just behind her, Shocking Gray, Warren's Candy Girl, Taming the Tigress still fourth. They're at the top of the stretch, and Eddie's New Dream sprinting for home. Rose Maddox comes out to chase her, as does Shocking Gray in the center of the course as Big Switch drops back. Final furlong, Eddie's New Dream, but here's Rose Maddox up alongside. Eddie's New Dream digging in. Rose Maddox can't quite get her. Eddie's New Dream all the way in the Franz Valentine. Rose Maddox second, Shocking Gray completes the gray try, and then Big Switch. After Stealing Crusher. The gate. And they're off in the Mel Air. Beautiful beginning. Stealing Crusher. Tom's Regret comes away in second. Here's Chismosa moving into third, and Carol Lombard is at the back of the field. So the heavy favorite, Stealing Crusher, is able to set the pace, opening up around the first turn. Chismosa's second. Tom's Regret will rate in third, 3 lengths off the lead, and 2 back to Carol Lombard. 6 furlongs to run, and Stealing Crusher, traveling comfortably, leads at 3/4 of a length. Chismosa is headstrong in second, a gap of 3 back to Tom's Regret in third, and then Carol Lombard. 5 lengths covers the field. They have 5 furlongs to run. And it's Stealing Crusher leading the way. Prompted by Chismosa, now it's a gap of 6 or 7 lengths. Tom's Regret racing well out from the rail, and down on the inside, it's Carol Lombard heading to the 3/8 pole. And it's Stealing Crusher, the undefeated filly, who's been there every step of the way. Chismosa now fully extended, has fallen a length behind in second. Tom's Regret clearly third, and then Carol Lombard. 1/4 mile to go, and Stealing Crusher puts away Chismosa. A long way to Tom's Regret in third, 3/16 to go, and Stealing Crusher, no dangers today, as she will stretch out successfully. An unblemished record for this talented daughter of Mr. Big, who once again will roll home by double digits. Hernandez peeks back, and they're far behind Stealing Crusher. So impressive, as she wins by a block. Tom's Regret gets second. Chismosa third, then Carol Lombard. We're in the gate. And they're off. Quick start for Square Fun. Golden Microphone is prominent in the early stages. Sit, Look, and Hope comes through to challenge the top pair. Then it's Me Hitana in fourth, 5 lengths off the lead, followed by Magic Game. Benster hops slightly at the start and is 2 lengths in front of Strange Addiction, racing on the inside of Rough Ride. And then it's a big gap to Heavenly Kisses with no early speed. Into the far turn, and it is Square Fun narrowly in front. Pressed hard by Golden Microphone, ahead away second. A length and a half, Sit, Look, and Hope is in third. Me Hitana is in fourth. Then Strange Addiction racing in between horses. Magic Game is at the rail, and Benster is just outside of that pair. Another 2 back to Rough Ride, and Heavenly Kisses. They turn for home, and Golden Microphone cut loose on the outside up to take the lead. Square Fun battles very bravely in second. Sit, Look, and Hope to the outside, and Magic Game is a threat late, but now Golden Microphone opens up 3. And it's Golden Microphone in front over Magic Game. Golden Microphone scores by 2 easy lengths, wrapped up in the end. Second to Magic Game. Then it was Strange Addiction on the inside of Rough Ride. And fifth was between Square Fun and Benster. El Diablo Rojo is the last one to load. And they're off. Very even start. Tapatio Leo gets the first call. Bus Buzz comes through on the inside second, followed by Rookie Mistake in third. Then it's Seattle Breakout fourth, 4 lengths off the lead. Smuggler's Run and El Diablo Rojo. Down the back stretch, and it's Tapatio Leo and Bus Buzz. The Lovinger Breds head and head into the far turn. 3 more to Rookie Mistake in third. El Diablo Rojo with the red cap on the outside of Smuggler's Run and Seattle Breakout. Bus Buzz takes the lead midway on the far turn. Tapatio Leo trying to cling to him in second. Rookie Mistake, Good Trip 4 off the pace in third. Then Smuggler's Run, El Diablo Rojo and Seattle Breakout. Bus Buzz puts away Tapatio Leo at the top of the stretch and opens up a 4-length lead. Rookie Mistake moving into second now, and then Smuggler's Run, a 16th to go, and Bus Buzz has overwhelmed the competition, and he will breeze home. Bus Buzz and Edwin Maldonado winning it by about 6 lengths. Rookie Mistake second, then Seattle Breakout, Smuggler's Run, and El Diablo Rojo. Luxurious hotel at Yamava. As the closest casino and resort to Santa Anita Park, come experience world-class gaming. Snow Chief Stakes presented by City National Bank. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Snow Chief Stakes, which is presented by City National Bank. Clouseau is going out for the lead. Boss Sully comes away in second. And then Tom and Jazzy in the center of the course third. Upward Mobility fourth and taken strongly in hand. Be Punctual, who was off slowly, is now all the way up to be a joint third. Old Pal is 4 lengths off the lead and hacking it up just outside of him. Into the first turn behind Clouseau, who leads at a length and a half to Tom and Jazzy in second. Then Boss Sully rating kindly at the rail in third, and Be Punctual is fourth. Old Pal in the yellow colors fifth, 5 lengths off the lead, just in front of Upward Mobility, and hacking it up at the back of the field. They swing on to the backstretch in the Snow Chief Stakes presented by City National Bank. And it's Clouseau dictating terms, has it by 2 over Tom and Jazzy in second. Those 2 have now gotten clear of Boss Sully biding his time in third. Be Punctual outside of him with a half-mile left to go. Old Pal is next, still in fifth with 6 to make up. Upward Mobility and hacking it up. They're taking closer order behind Clouseau, who's been there throughout. Has it by a length to Tom and Jazzy in second. Then Boss Sully, Be Punctual, Old Pal, Upward Mobility, and Hacking It Up. They have a quarter of a mile to go, and Tom and Jazzy makes his move to take the lead from Clouseau at the top of the lane. Boss Sully swings out. Old Pal is now coming through horses, and he's diving down toward the rail with a menacing late bid. Clouseau, Old Pal, and Boss Sully line up, but it's Old Pal doing the best work, and Old Pal wins the Snow Chief going away. Clouseau was second, Boss Sully third, and then it's a photo between Upward Mobility and Be Punctual. Thor's Echo is coming up next, and Sunrise Journey. In the gate. And they're off. Sunrise Journey gets the first call. Here's Brickyard Ride into second. The Chosen Vron broke on top, but settles on the outside of Tigre de Sluggo. And so Sunrise Journey will take him to the half-mile pole. Brickyard Ride within a half length of him, in a little tight down at the rail. A gap of 3 back to the Chosen Vron and Tigre de Sluggo. Moving into the far turn, Brickyard Ride, 21-4 for the opening quarter. He and Sunrise Journey are 4 in front of the Chosen Vron in third, and then Tigre de Sluggo fourth. Sunrise Journey pestering Brickyard Ride, and here comes the Chosen Vron, just ambling up to the top pair. And the Chosen Vron, cruise control, comes to get the lead at the top of the stretch, and he has not been asked to run. The Chosen Vron, Tigre de Sluggo takes up the chase in the center of the track. But what a performance from the Chosen Vron, one of the best Calbreds we've seen in years. The Chosen Vron, an absolute crushing in the Thor's Echo. Tigre de Sluggo was second. Brickyard Ride and Sunrise Journey. The running time 1:09 and 2/5 seconds. Set, and they're off. Stay in the game at the rail. Atomic Drop is going out to vie for the lead. The pace is quick early on. Here's Forgiving Spirit putting more heat on him, and Workday on the outside. Then comes Worst Reed Sanchez on the inside of Mobu. It's a gap of 4 to Tropical Terror, who broke outward at the start, and Shortman behind that rival. Forgiving Spirit sprints onto the backstretch, opens up 2.5 lengths on Stay in the Game in second. Atomic Drop on the fence in third. Then Workday, Worst Reed Sanchez, and Mobu. 4 back to an unhurried Tropical Terror and Shortman down the backstretch. And it's Forgiving Spirit. And Ramon Vasquez clear by 3. Stay in the Game, Atomic Drop. Stay in the Game, cutting right into that margin at the half-mile pole. It's down to a length. Then comes Workday in fourth, 5 lengths off the lead. Worst Reed Sanchez. Mobu is 3 wide, followed by Shortman and Tropical Terror. Forgiving Spirit rounds the far turn, lets it out a notch once again, and sprints clear by 2, make it 3. Stay in the Game second. Mobu launching a bid. Worst Reed Sanchez hugging the rail. Between them is Atomic Drop. Tropical Terror, Brown Cap is getting rolling on the outside. They're at the top of the stretch. It's Forgiving Spirit, Worst Reed Sanchez, Shortman along the inside. Mobu, Tropical Terror wide open. Worst Reed Sanchez on the outside. Tropical Terror is now kicking into high gear. It's Worst Reed Sanchez. Tropical Terror surges to victory and wins it going away. Worst Reed Sanchez, Mobu, Forgiving Spirit, and then it was Shortman.
To say today is a huge day would certainly be an understatement. Why do I say that? Did you know that in North America there are only 97 Grade 1 races run throughout the country the entire year? Santa Anita has 3 today. And of course, it's Memorial Day as we remember and honor those who have given their lives for our freedom. Also, we've got a $1,500 contest, and our seminar guest is going to be participating in that. Even if you're not on track, you can play online on expressbet.com and compete against our seminar guest today. Good luck doing that. And lastly, of course, the mandatory payout in the 20-cent pick six. Everything must go today. The carryover is $359,000. Expectations are new money in the pool will be close to $3 million, and it's an excellent 6-race sequence. But we've got a lot of ground to cover, so let's welcome in our special guest for today. His name, Brett Wiener. Brett, welcome to the seminar. Happy Memorial Day.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate being here.
It's great to have you. Now, you obviously have done very well in tournaments, and it's not just talk. We actually have proof of it.
Hi.
8 years ago at Saratoga, you won a tournament where you actually collected $100,000. Let's show that paycheck. You obviously beat some of the best players. That money's long gone by now, isn't it?
Yeah, I lost it by the 9th that same day, actually. So it's great.
But it's not the only $100,000 check you got. You've also won some other contests. I believe Derby Wars you won. And, you know, you live in Las Vegas, so you're a gambler. Let's face it, right?
Yeah, we lived in Florida for a long time. Me and my wife retired. Sarah, also a great horse player, retired to Vegas about 7 years ago. We go back and forth to Florida to Las Vegas.
What is it about tournaments? That's why you're here today, and that's why I wanted to have you on the seminar. What is it about live money tournaments that kind of floats your boat?
Well, you get to come to the track. It's 100% payback. So the track gives you zero takeout, except the churn that you bet is where they make their money. So it's a win-win situation. We wager, they have a takeout, we increase the pools, but we get 100% of the prize money back to the player. So it's win-win. You get to meet a ton of players, all your friends that come out that you play online against all year. You get to see them in person at a great place like Santa Anita. You can't beat it.
And you don't have to beat the entire nation. You just have to beat the field of players that are in the tournament. Probably we'll get between 100 and 150 players today. So that narrows down the competition. But at the same time, there's some sharp players, including yourself, who are participating in the tournament.
Yeah, I'm not the best at the live money. There are much better live money players here than I. But I'll take my swings today. I got a few good ones picked out.
What is it about maybe, besides the low takeout, what is it about the tournaments that kind of, makes you drive from Vegas over here, besides meeting the people and kind of hanging out at the great race place? There's BC seats, there's NHC seats. There's obviously, value added prizes on top of what you're going to win pari-mutually.
There was $2 hot dogs here today, too. Have you mentioned that?
I'm going to go get some after the seminar. Are you going to dive in?
And we have a 20-cent pick six that will be paying us $3 million. So there is also that's another incentive to come down here. But just meeting the people that you see online, COVID put an end to that. We stopped going. I used to go maybe to 5 to 10 tournaments a year in person, and now it came to an end. So now I'm trying to get back into going to see the people, and it's really great group of people that you get to see at these tournaments.
You mentioned all our on-track promotions. You didn't mention the carnival in the infield. You're going to go out there and take a spin on the Ferris wheel?
No, my doctors won't allow that, but I'll root all my friends on.
You took a look at today's card, and of course, we'll talk about it a little bit later. But do you like today's card? Obviously, some cards are great, some cards are kind of weak. Where do you kind of rate today's card?
The end 3-4 races are very, very tough.
Will you keep your bankroll until that point before you kind of go all in?
No, I'll be way all in before then. I'll probably all in and out before then. That's my style. But I'll try my best to build up a bankroll to be ahead of a few people. So if we end up on the same number in the last couple of races, I've maybe the advantage.
What's the game theory that you're going to kind of enter the tournament in? In other words, tournament play is very different than live play. And of course, you kind of have to strategize and structure how you're going to attack the tournament. So what's kind of your game theory? Do you always try and beat the favorite no matter what? Do you try and play an exacta? Like, just what's your kind of, your approach to this particular tournament, Brett?
I never play favorites because I'm usually a mythical $2 win and place player. So you really can't play favorites there unless they all string together. One long shot comes in, you'll lose if you only have the favorites. This is different here, being a live tournament. But since you have to make 5 plays, minimum of 5 plays, I will play some light plays early to clear that hurdle, and then I'll make an all-in wager either to a daily double, an exacta, or a win ticket if I like a long shot to try to get up there.
Let's talk about that $100,000 picture we showed when you won a NYRA tournament 8 years ago. What did you do to basically catapult yourself to first place? Was it an all-in shove? Did you hit some monster exacta?
That was a mythical tournament.
Okay.
That was a $2 tournament that on the last day after being in the lead, made sure I did not lose. So I actually played a lot of favorites as everybody was rooting in the long shots to catch me because I did have a good lead. And I was just happy that the favorites held on. Because if you lost in that tournament, they took money off of your account. So it was a little different than our normal. It was live money, $2. So if you lost, you would move backwards. I refused to move backwards.
You live in Las Vegas, so obviously your middle name is Gambler. Are you active in the casinos? Would that be an understatement?
Yeah, me and my wife, we go dabble a little.
You live on the Strip. How can you not go?
We go when mostly to the locals places now and take advantage of all the offers, free dinners, free cruises, free hotel rooms.
Do you wager on the races from home? Like, in other words, the casinos
Sure.
have a lot of race and sportsbook apps.
Yeah, for about 3 or 4 years, I never left the bed. So I play on ExpressBet Select, and that's what I do. Play tournaments all day and wager and enjoy life.
Is your place kind of like a mini race book? Do you have multiple TVs and
I actually
multiple
have
computers?
a race book in my house. I actually
Tell
have
us what it's like.
I should have brought a picture, but I have a 5 TV race book in there with an actual 110-foot 3-seat corral with theater seats in front of it. And about
How come you never invited me?
You're invited.
Okay, just making sure.
There is an admission, but not, it's okay. But
I'd rather have you increase the takeout than the admission.
I do have about 300 whiskeys, and I don't drink. So I just basically collect whiskeys thinking we were going to have a lot of parties over there. But then COVID hit right when I moved in and my health went down a little. So we've only had a few people over. So the whiskeys keep on growing and nobody's drinking them, but it's okay.
Huge day here at Santa Anita today. Mandatory payout on the 20-cent pick six, 3 grade ones. Obviously a huge, huge day, and it's our pleasure to have Brett Wiener as our seminar guest today. He's going to tell us who he likes on today's 10-race card. But before he does that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the minimal program changes on today's card, Memorial Day, here at the Great Race Place.
Good afternoon. Happy Memorial Day and welcome to Santa Anita Park. The track is fast. The turf is firm. The rail on the turf at 0 feet. Here are the early changes. In the first, started the early pick 5, number 5, Flat On, will carry 2 pounds over. Race 2 starts the early pick 4, numbers 3 and 5, each carry 2 pounds overweight. In the third, number 5, The Rain Song, 2 pounds over. Turning to race 4. Scratches or jockey changes. In the fifth, the grade 1 Gamely, we start the Rainbow Pick 6. $359,000 in the carryover. The entire pool gets paid out today. Mandatory payout in the pick 6. We have a blinker note in the start of the late pick 5, race number 6. In the seventh, the grade 1 Shoemaker Mile, a Breeders' Cup win, and you're in. No changes. The eighth is the grade 1 Hollywood Gold Cup. No changes. In the ninth, scratch numbers 13 and 14, the also eligibles. And in the 10th, scratch 2, Minister Shane. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner and Tom Quigley.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Brett Wiener. He's it's easy for me to say, successful tournament player who's cashed multiple times in excess of $100,000. He's on track today. He's a Las Vegas resident because he's participating in our $1,500 live money tournament. It's a great card, 10-race card with 3 grade 1s. If you want to compete against Brett and the other players, you can sign up at expressbet.com or play right here on track. It's only $1,500. Whatever you win is yours to keep, and there's a great prize structure as well. Let's talk about handicapping for a minute, Brett, before we take a look at today's card. I have a sense from what I've read about your background that you don't spend a whole lot of time handicapping. You kind of glance through things, kind of get an idea of what's going to happen, and then kind of be a contrarian, bet against the crowd. Kind of describe for us, if you would, if that's an accurate assessment and how you do handicap.
Well, I used to handicap nights and nights and nights, and I used to play a lot better. But now, because of health reasons, I scan the cards looking for horses with my angles. And that I've played for the last 40 years, so hopefully they work now and then. And you don't have to win a lot or often. You just have to win once. And
for a big score.
Exactly. So you win a tournament like this, you bring home 60, 70, 80,000. It allows you to play a lot of tournaments. So all you have to do is have one good day, and you need your angles to work on a single day.
How do you manage your mentality in terms of going through those inevitable losing streaks? Of course, you're going to go, when you're playing for big money and you're playing long shots, there's going to be streaks where you're not going to cash. Do you just kind of turn the page and forget about it? Or are there some bad beats that kind of like, stick in your craw? How do you handle that mentally?
I come here and watch you throw that picture up now and then, and shows me what I used to be able to do. But yeah, I mean, I'm on a cold streak right now, but you go and have a good time. You go for fun, and if you win, it's a bonus to me. And because you only live once, and the life experience of a tournament is just the action, the excitement. There's not much else you can do when you're going towards age 60, and for the camaraderie and the fun and excitement.
Talked about enjoying life. You just came back from an overseas cruise. Where'd you go, and what was it like?
I mean, my wife just took a little cruise across to the Azores, Paris,
A little
London.
cruise. How long was it?
It was the cruise was 12 days, and we took 5 days in London. Never been across the pond, and it was just unbelievable.
Did you do any racing? Did you go to racetracks?
We had plans to go to Ascot on Saturday or Royal Windsor on Monday, but the weather, those were the two worst rainy days. So we did not go. We will go next time.
That happens in Europe, doesn't it?
It happened every day except the 2 days we weren't supposed to go to the track were beautiful.
Let's take a look at today's card, Brett. Kicking things off in race number 1. We're on the turf course, of course, fast and firm conditions here in Southern California. We're traveling 1 1/8 miles on the turf course for maiden special weights. The turf rails today are at 0 feet, and of course, race 1 begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. The original morning line favorite was number 7, Yellow Brook at 8-5, but the current betting choice at 2-1 is number 1, Maltese Falcon from the Leonard Powell barn. Give us your thoughts on race 1, Brett.
Well, the 1 is off of Vet Scratch on May 12th. So I will stay off of the 1 who also looks like he'll be starting from dead last position on a mile and 1/8 speed, usually holds on mile and 1/8. So unless there's a big speed duel, I don't see the 1 winning. So I'm going to stay away. I like the 8 and the 4. I think the 8 will improve off of last. Positive jockey change, McCarthy, and I like the 4 who should get a great trip here, much better than last, as a good long shot. Hoffman's is 20% first route, working great. Well, we'll see. He just ran on the 13th, so we'll see.
8 and 4 in race number 1. So says our seminar guest, Brett Wiener. Brett, a question for you, simply because both of your selections in race 1, number 8, Smooth Salute, and number 4, Act 3, are second-time starters in their career. Do you find that a horse's biggest improvement is from their debut to their second start? Is that one of your angles, so to speak, that you mentioned earlier in the seminar?
Or distance or surface switch being the first time. So this is a distance switch for both. And they both had trouble, and I just think a moderate earlier pace instead of a sprint pace will let them be a little closer and give them a little more heart.
And of course, on a big day, we have a number of out-of-town jockeys coming in to ride. Your top selection ridden by Luis Saez. Also, Kazushi Kimura rides number 3, Fast Jet, and we'll see later in the card, Flavian Pratt is in town as well. Do jockeys matter to you? Are they passengers or pilots when you're looking at it from a handicapping standpoint?
Oh, they're pilots. I know a lot of people that say they're passengers, but to me, they're pilots, especially a trainer-jockey reason why that jockey's on for that trainer in that race and not other races.
Let's take a look at race number 2. Begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We're on the main track. This race is for the babies, sprinting 4.5 furlongs on the main track. Maiden special weight 2-year-olds. Field of 5. Number 5, Midnight Love, the second-time starter from the Hector Palma barn, is the 8-5 morning line favorite. Are maiden races one of your strengths or weaknesses?
No, it's a strength to use some of the stats that other people don't use, or the basic public that don't have access to the stats we get with the Brisnet or other stat packages.
And information really is key, right? I mean, this is the whole name of the game. We're competing pari-mutually, Brett. And if you have a better edge or better information than your competitors, which is the general betting public, normally speaking, you're gonna wind up on the right side of the equation.
You would think so.
Well, let's see if we wind up on the right side here in race number 2. Who do you like and why?
Well, I like the 4. Terry Levenger's friend of mine, and the horse should be good here. He did not sell at auction, and in other words, this horse should run. And I think the 5 does not, watching the last replay, did not break well. So I think the 4 could get off fast, chasing a stablemate, the 3, take over, and the 5 will come up for second for a 4-5.
4 and 5 in race number 2. You mentioned Terry Levenger, who's one of the prominent owners and breeders in Southern California. I know that you've owned some racehorses in the past. Have you had any success as a racehorse owner?
Well, we've had success as an owner, not as a breeder yet. We had our first baby didn't run that well, just ran second. But we have a couple more really good ones on the farm, and we'll see.
Are they in California, Brett?
Yeah, we're on Terry's farm on a couple of them, and we have a nice idiot-proof baby that was an orphan, and the Terry's farm Love Acres Ranch hand raised that baby for me and saved his life, and it's very promising.
Let's take a look at race number 3. We are going 6 furlongs on the main track. Although the conditions read something else, basically this race is for 3-year-old fillies in for the $16,000 tag. That's because all of them are 3-year-olds, the entire field of 5, I should say. And Tiago Pereira and Steve Knapp team up once again in race number 3 with an 9 to 5 morning line favorite number 5, the Rain Song. Give us your thoughts on race 3, Brett.
Yeah, I mean, I expect the 5 to win, just skim the outside and take over. The field's not much. I expect 3 to 5 on this horse about. And just drop down. Looks easy, which I get scared about, but it's a lot of speed, should take over, and I expect maybe the 3 could close, pick up the pieces for second. That's what I hope.
Captain Obvious usually doesn't work at the racetrack, right? If it's too obvious for everybody to see, usually it's not going to happen.
No, we'd all be cashing $2.10 winners and be billionaires.
Race number 4, again, a field of 5, spreading 7 furlongs in the main track. This race is a starter optional claiming race for fillies and mares. Number 5, Christie's Tiger on the bottom is the 7 to 5 morning line favorite. Short fields, let's face it, doesn't really get gamblers and horse players very excited, do they?
No, I'm not very excited about these few races. The card gets great later, so just hold on.
No doubt about it. Now, if we want to get alive in any sort of pick 3, rolling pick 3s, who are we going to use in race 4?
Yeah, I would just single the 5. I mean, just keep it simple. It looks like a 5-1 cold to me. I just like the 1 to, hustle to the lead today from the inside with the 7-pound bug. Not that much speed here, and I expect the 5 to skim along the outside, take over 5-1 to the window.
I don't want to give away any of your tournament strategy, Brett, but since the 1 is number 1 Classical Romance is 12 to 1 on the morning line, is this maybe a potential, even though it's a small field, would you play an aggressive exacta because of that price?
We'll see.
Okay. Race number 5 begins what everybody is waiting for, which is the 20-cent pick 6. Today, everything must go. It plays like a traditional $2 pick 6, except you can play for 20 cents. The carryover is $359,000. Expectations are $3 million of new money will be wagered into that pool. And we kick things off with the first of 3 grade 1s on the card, and it's the Gamely Stakes, $400,000 guaranteed, going a mile and 1/8 on the turf course for fillies and mares. We've got an outstanding field of 7, and number 3, Queen Goddess, to the Michael McCarthy barn, is the 9 to 5 morning line favorite. Talk to us about race 5, Brett.
The 3 on paper looks great. Unfortunately, they don't run the race on paper. I think somebody's going to have to jump on a 3 early here to make a race of it. I don't think they're going to let the 3 just walk around the track to the win. I'm looking for PPP here.
What's that mean?
We got Phil, we got Pratt, and we got position on the 1.
School dance on
the 1 to have nice inside position, save for the lane. Somebody needs from the outside, the 5, 6, 7, to just go after the 3, opening up maybe for a 1-2 for me.
Don't know what type of handicapper you are, Brett, but I'm going to ask you a question that I don't know the answer for. Do you utilize race replays as part of your handicapping arsenal?
Never do, because you don't know the context of the race that you're watching, or who is set to run well and set to run poor anyway. Second, you see a trouble line, that horse is going to be bet too heavy next time, from the last race that you see.
Well, I mentioned that because you mentioned the trouble line as well, and you can see the comment for School Dance's last effort was boxed in at the quarter pole, altered at the 8th pole. I would encourage all of you watching and listening to go back and watch School Dance's last effort in the Royal Heroine. I think you'll agree that it was certainly a miserable trip, and now, as you mentioned, they switch over to Flavia and Pratt, and the price is right at 6 to 1 as well.
You won't get 6 to 1, I don't think.
Not after you gave it out on the seminar, that's for sure. Race number 6 is the second leg of the 20-cent pick 6, and also the first leg of the 50-cent late pick 5. We're sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the main track for maiden special weights. A field of 6. Number 6, True Hood, 1 of 2 in here for trainer Bob Baffert, is the 8 to 5 morning line favorite. Was scratched a few weeks back. Back in the summer, this horse actually was working heads up with Cave Rock. You can see that workout here in the paper, in the racing form, way back on August 7th of last year. That's ancient history by now. Give us your thoughts on race 6, Brett.
Total guessing game. If you think the 6 is ready, you go for it. But they're both of Bob's are bred to go longer. So a slow break on the outside. Yes, that's why he's in for 6.5 furlongs, not 5.5 or 6 in this race, because he's bred to go longer. But I'm going to not be on that horse. I'm going to think maybe a slow break and a flying chance for second. I'll take somebody on the inside with speed.
We're looking at your selections, and it looks like you like the Invader, the ship and win candidate, number 1, Uncle Reg. Tell us why you like him.
Just advantage of the rail. We have a hustle jockey in Saez. Bullet workout. I think it's going to hustle to the lead. And on this track, with this field, it might be good enough.
Your selections are trending toward Michael McCarthy. It could be a big day for him.
Or bad.
I was going to say, or a bad one for you, depending upon the outcome. Race number 7 is the Grade 1 Shoemaker Mile. It also begins the 50-cent late pick 4. The Shoemaker Mile is a Breeders' Cup win and you're in for the mile division. And, of course, San Anita proud to host the Breeders' Cup the first weekend in November later this year. We're going 1 mile on the turf course, of course. We've got an excellent field of 11. The lukewarm morning line favorite back from Churchill Downs is number 2, Hong Kong Harry, 7-2 on the morning line. However, 4 of these runners exit the San Francisco Mile up at Golden Gate back on April 29th, including the 4 Flavius, number 5 Il Belator, number 7 Balnikov, and number 9 Lamplighter Jack. There's 2 things I want you to watch as we show this replay. Certainly Flavius run very, very well off the extended layoff for trainer George Papapadromo, and Balnikov put in a wicked late kick to catch everyone in the shadow of the wire. So courtesy of our friends at xbtv.com, let's listen to Matt Ditterman describe the action back on April 29th in the San Francisco Mile.
And we're off in the San Francisco Mile. Flavius broke very alertly today and is up close to the pace. It's going to be Lamplighter Jack from post 6 striding forward to take the lead. And Flavius is fresh in the second spot. Bob and Jackie going to come between that pair now, is still third on the heels of the leader approaching the turn. He's in a pocket. Lamplighter Jack, the leader from Flavius. And in the third spot, Bob and Jackie. Il Bellator in the 4th position, followed by Tarantino. Then Tesoro, Dicey Mocara, they're side by side. And Balnikov's at the back with Rio King onto the back stretch. 9 lengths from first to last. Lamplighter Jack and Abel Cedillo paved the way by a length. Flavius off the long layoff running in second. He's about 2 lengths clear of his stablemate Bob and Jackie, Il Bellator and Tesoro. The 2 runners coming off of layoffs, 4th and 5th, and they're both together now about 3 lengths off Lamplighter Jack. Another length to Tarantino. Dicey Mochara niggled along a little bit between horses now, joined by Rio King and Balnikov. He's back to last now, Balnikov, into the far turn, but patiently ridden by Umberto Rispoli as they hit the turn. Lamplighter Jack only leads by a half length. Flavius on the outside coming up to apply the pressure. He goes pretty well here, Flavius, at the top of the lane, and these 2 have pulled 3 clear of Il Bellator. Tesoro's dropping out. Dicey Mochara trying to pick it up. He's not getting it done right now, and Balnikov trying to kick it in on the far outside. He's finding a good stride now. He's got 2 lengths to gain. It's Flavius. Il Bellator's running huge, and here comes Balnikov and Rio King from the back. They're together. Balnikov inside with the head in front. Rio King running the race of his life. I think it was Balnikov, but it was tight.
Exciting finish, Brett, with Balnikov getting up in the shadow of the wire by a desperate nose as the betting choice. As I mentioned, 4 runners in the Shoemaker Mile today are exiting that race. I thought Flavius ran excellent off that long layoff, but you're looking in a different direction in race number 7.
Yeah, I throw all those out from Golden Gate. Hong Kong Harry here looks again. You got Pratt, you got Phil, you have position on the rail. He's going to get back to his winning ways.
And Hong Kong Harry, you mentioned getting back to his winning ways. Boy, he sure knows where the winner's circle is. 9 wins out of 15 lifetime starts. He'd be a cool horse to own. Now, of course, he loves the San Anita turf course as well, with 3 victories out of 4 attempts over it. But what price would you basically draw the line at? He's 7-2 on the morning line. It's a big field. Like if he went to 2-1, would you say no go, or would you still bet him?
He's one of my better picks today. 2-1, 5-2 would be great. It's a tough field, so I expect 2-1 to 5-2.
And even though he's the favorite and you don't like betting favorites, you're okay taking the favorite here.
Yeah, but in a live money tournament, you could also bet 2 horses in the same race. So I like also the 8. So you could put some on the 2 and some on the 8, and hopefully you'll catch a 10-12 to 1 shot.
2 and 8, with 8 being a long shot, 15-1, as Brett mentioned, Cabo Spirit in the Shoemaker Mile. Race number 8 is a 3rd Grade 1 on today's card. It's the Hollywood Gold Cup, traveling the distance, the traditional distance of 1.25 miles on the main track. The purse is $400,000 guaranteed. We've got a field of 6. Bob Baffert has 2 runners in here, including the odds-on favorite, number 4, Defunded, who has plenty of early speed. 4-5, according to John White, our morning line odds maker. What's this race like, according to Brett Wiener?
Well, we'll stick with John White's opinion. 4-5. It's hard. This is a hard race to know how each horse is feeling and ready to come, especially the One Country Grammer coming back from Dubai. I expect it to be 4-2-1.
Would this be a pass race for you? I can kind of read between the lines the way you're...
It's total pass race. Again, if I'm losing all these races until now, like I've lost 7 straight for you, that's just as good as winning 7 straight. It's like when I used to take 3 friends to the track. The teller would say, your friends stink. They can't handicap. They can't pick a winner. I said, exactly.
Race number 9 begins the $1 Golden Hour Pick 4, linking our last 2 races here with the last 2 races at Golden Gate. It's 1 mile in the turf course. It's an allowance race, non-winners of 1 other than. Scratch the 2 also eligibles, 13 and 14. That leaves us with a field of 12. Here's another lukewarm morning line favorite from the Jeff Mullins bar, number 7. Unfaithful Ways is the 4-1 morning line favorite. If you have the program in front of you, this race is named Live and Breathe Horse Racing Group. You're part of this Facebook group. I believe you're the expert handicapper for the thousands of people coming out to attend the races today in that group.
Yeah, this group
They're in big trouble, aren't they?
Yeah, especially this today if they're following me. But this group, Live and Breathe on Facebook, horse group, has some amazing players in it. I definitely advise people, especially beginners, to join the group, and you'll learn a lot. There's hundreds and hundreds of top players in this group.
And it's very noble of you to donate your time and energy to it, because let's face it, the game's not going to succeed and survive unless we get new blood into the game. And I think generally speaking, when we do bring new people to the track, Brett, they actually enjoy it, particularly when they have an ambassador who can explain all this crazy jargon that we use to kind of simplify and have them understand it.
Yeah, I'm a NTRA mentor, and I have people over my house, and I teach them how to handicap and play. One of my friends, Will Rawls, came over 1 week to me in Vegas, and literally 2 weekends after that, he cashed for $30,000 in the tournament.
And that's the name of the game, right? When they can cash for that, kind of it's the old motto at the racetrack, bet a little to win a lot. That's really not something you can do in any of the casinos, right? It's a mathematical disadvantage. This game is completely different.
Yeah, this is a much better chance of hitting the pick 6 today than winning that much on a slot machine.
Now, race number 9, named in honor of the Facebook group that you're a part of, has that full field of 12 with a lukewarm morning line favorite. How'd you see this race?
I really like the 9 here.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Speed Lane.
Yes.
Vladimir Serin, 12-1. Not going to be 12-1 come post time.
This horse is going to be leaving the gate today with Kent, trying to get a position. Not much speed here. I expect him to be whipping and slashing on the way home. The 6 is a mystery. Has had tons and tons of trouble. If he can get a good trip, D'Amato puts Cedillo, who's 1-for-1 for him on there. To me, this is one of the races I'm playing.
And huge prices, both 12-1 on the morning line. You talked about whipping and slashing. You certainly expect Speed Lane to be on the early pace, going from a sprint to a route,
or take over on the backstretch and open up.
Do you use? You mentioned Briss earlier, and I know that they have pace numbers. How like if you had to grade the importance of picking a winner, how important is early pace or the pace dynamics of a race to you?
I'm a biased player, so if the track is producing that type of winner, that's very important.
Let's talk about bias for a minute, Brett, because I don't think a lot of players incorporate it in their handicapping. And I know that there's other handicappers who think that bias is just a bunch of hogwash. I don't believe that. I believe there are certain tracks, not so much here in Southern California, but certainly around the country, that either favor inside or outside or early speed or closers. That's important to kind of keep track of on a daily basis.
Oh, yeah. I hit 11 straight at Penn National once because it was inside speed. And any horse that had the lead at the top of the stretch couldn't lose.
And it's a beautiful thing because I've seen those type of days. You just basically throw all your handicapping out the window and identify who's going to get to the rail and get early position. And effectively, the race is over no matter what the price is.
Yeah, and you should handicap from the starting gate what's going to happen in a race at the starting gate. Follow what position your horse is going to be in and see if that position that you think he's going to be in will produce a winner in that race.
And multiple times is when you basically can anoint that it's okay, it's a speed bias track. If it happens in the very first race, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a speed bias track.
Right, and if it does happen in the first race, the jockeys will be trying that much harder thinking that it's a speed bias track till eventually they go too fast, then the closer hits the last race.
How biased do you think towards speed Southern California racetracks are? I think, being a homer here in Southern California, I think early speed and position is paramount to success. I don't follow the other races around the country as much as you do. Where would you kind of rank early speed importance in Southern California compared to the rest of the country?
Well, being a horse owner here for about 7-8 years, my partner Lawrence Colden, we usually owned a lot of closers in Southern California. Hence, I know that speed holds on all the time for Southern Cal.
We close out the day and we close out the week in race number 10. Now, keep in mind, live racing resumes here at Santa Anita this coming Friday. We've got 9 races planned for you with a 1 o'clock p.m. Post time, Pacific time. But first things first, we're coming down the Hillside Turf Course, which is always a great spectacle to watch. It's an allowance race for non-winners of 1 other than. There is one scratch. Scratch the 2, Minister Shane. Take note number 6, Nero Tulip is a first-time gelding. Also, race 10 offers $5 Golden Hour daily double wagering. Similar concept. Last race here with the last race at Golden Gate. Lukewarm morning line favorite once again from the Kristen Mulhall barn is number 5, King Apollo. 7-2 on the morning line. This could be a do or die race, not only for horse players, but for players in the tournament as well. It's usually where everybody goes all in. How'd you see this race?
Well, hopefully a lot of people bet King Apollo. I'm not going to be one of them. But Ken could win the race before. Usually the jockey that wins the race before does sometimes win the last. He will be trying. He did come home in 11 seconds, 11.3 last time. So he does close, but sometimes falls short. One of the big closers, the 2 was scratched, so it might be his job to close. I expect him to, I'm using the 5 under. I don't like him on the win side. I will try the 9 at a price again.
12 to 1.
Yeah, Kimura is one of the strongest closing turf jockeys in the world. And I just think he's the other Peter Miller here, sneaking Kimura on. And this horse is coming out of a mile, had trouble last time at downhill, back to the downhill after a speed showing at a mile, usually take back now and a strong close down the hill. I like the 9 here.
You also give a little love to the Peter Ern horse, number 6, Nero Tulip, the first time gelding I mentioned. What is it about the 6 that you like?
Yeah, Brittany's father is on fire. And with the first time gelding here, a price play, his 2 prior sprints were both wins. Came here, ran distance, now back to a sprint. Hot jock, hot trainer. It's set up for it, but sometimes it's just not this obvious.
9 and 6 to close out a tremendous 10-race Memorial Day card. Brett, it's a pleasure having you here in the studio. Thank you so much for joining me on the seminar. Good luck not only in the tournament today, but also obviously for the remainder of the year, both at the windows as a horse owner as well. I look forward to that invite to your race book in Las Vegas sometime soon.
Anytime, Tom. Thank you.
Thanks to all of you for watching as well. Hope you enjoyed it. Next voice you hear will be track announcer Frank Miramati, updating us with any late program changes. Have fun, everybody, today. Don't forget about the Carnival in the infield. Good luck, and we'll see you on Friday.